This time, I would like to call to order the Monday, August 17th, 2026 Board of County Commissioners to order. We did not have a work session, so we're getting a late start tonight. At this time, I would like to ask Pastor Jimmy Foster from New Life of Currituck to lead us in the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. I ask everyone please stand.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you with humble hearts, asking for your wisdom, your guidance, and blessing upon the Currituck County Board of Commissioners and all of those who are gathered here at this meeting. Grant our commissioners wisdom to make decisions that serve the best interest of the people of Currituck County. Give them discernment, patience, courage, and integrity as they consider the matters before them. Help them to listen carefully, speak respectfully, and work together in a spirit of cooperation and understanding. Bless the citizens of Currituck County. May the decisions made today promote safety, opportunity, responsible growth, strong families, and the well-being of our communities. Help everyone present remember that public service is an opportunity to serve other people. We ask for your guidance over every discussion, every decision, and every person who participates in this meeting. May truth, fairness, wisdom, and respect guide their words and their actions. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, item 2 is the Ethics, Awareness, and Conflicts of Interest Reminder. I ask our county attorney to please share that.
Pursuant to GS 153A-44, a commissioner has a duty to vote on matters coming before the board, but may be excused from voting on issues involving the commissioner's own financial interest, official conduct, or on matters on which the commissioner is prohibited from voting under GS 14-234 or 160D-109. In accordance with Chapter 2, Division 3 of the Currituck County Code of Ordinances, it is the duty of every commissioner to avoid both conflicts of interest and appearances of conflict. Does any commissioner have any known conflict of interest or appearance of conflict with respect to any matters coming before the Board of Commissioners in this meeting? If so, please identify the conflict or appearance of conflict.
Madam Attorney, I will be recusing myself for new business. Item 2, consideration of contract for the purchase of real property owned by Corova Sands LLC and West Beach Properties LLC due to my relationship with the owner.
And I would recommend a motion be made to excuse Commissioner or Chairman O'Neill.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Can we remove him for the whole meeting? No, I'm just kidding, Paul.
And
I'm kidding.
let me just, the same item, I've done work for the owner, but that shouldn't be a conflict.
In my opinion, I don't think that's a conflict.
Just want to disclose that out there.
And in that same item, I did represent him in a real estate purchase. Had nothing to do with this property, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that would be a conflict either, but thank you for disclosing.
And one more disclosure in the item with Sacred Symmetry Syndicate coming before us, Mitchell and Lisa Marie Bayer. I did represent them in the purchase of this property prior to my becoming a commissioner.
Okay, and in that exchange, based on that exchange, do you have a fixed opinion regarding the outcome of the matter tonight?
I do not.
Okay, so really it's up to the board if you think a motion would be warranted to excuse Commissioner Rose. In my opinion, I do not think that presents a conflict, but it's really up to the board.
All right.
Okay.
I don't think I might supervise a couple of those people, but on the consent agenda, the salary reclassification, it doesn't affect my salary. The senior deputy and the deputy positions, I just wanted to bring that to attention. It doesn't affect me. It's not direct. So.
You're not getting a raise, okay.
I
don't think that's a conflict.
All right. Hearing none, I'll ask for approval of the agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Public comment, we have two people signed up. First one is Jim Wheeler. Mr. Wheeler, please share your complete name and address for the record.
Jim Wheeler, 191 Beechwood Shores Drive, Moyoc. I got a question, I think maybe for the county attorney. Who brought up the voting thing on the ballot for the different districts and stuff? It's going to be, where you vote for
Where we would.
District
go to
voting.
district
The
voting.
the
yeah.
district voting, it was brought up through multiple people when we were running the campaign in 2024 for the 2024 election. Multiple people reached out to a number of us and asked about that. So that was the original.
Okay. I just wondered because I really don't like it, myself. It's my personal opinion, because I can't vote for Kevin. I can't vote for you. I can't vote for Paul. I can't vote for Selena. I can't vote for anybody that I want to vote for. I can only vote for one person. That's the person that will be in my district.
That's how we
So-
do every other legislature.
Pardon?
That's how we do every other legislature.
Kevin won't be on the ballot again
I got
either.
your
I can tell
signs
you
in my
that. He's done.
garage,
I know, but I mean, we
I
do.
couldn't vote for you if it passes. That's what
Mr.
I'm saying.
Wheeler, that's
So-
precisely why it's on the ballot
Done
for
in
the folks
public.
at Currituck
Yes.
to decide. We
Not
didn't
us.
want to decide it.
No.
We could have gone to the legislature and asked for a bill, but we would not do that. We
All right.
want the folks in Currituck to decide how they're represented.
Okay, I just want to speak out against it. All right, thank you.
Okay, and again,
Yeah.
what Commissioner Angel said, it weren't just 24, that was just his first election.
Mm-hmm.
Every election I've ever run in, people have been upset that the person that maybe run from their district didn't win, but they won their district, but then they lost it in Moyoc or somewhere,
right.
so that's where it's all come from.
Yeah, and Jim, it's with me too, as long as I've been campaigning, people have been telling me that, well, we can't vote for the people to represent us, and one that we wanted didn't win, and now
Right.
so I'm thinking, you know what? Why don't the citizens vote for it, and then it'll be done with it one way or the other.
And there's been multiple examples of it going both ways, where somebody won their district and didn't win the rest of the county, or somebody didn't win the district and won the rest of the county. So
Owen, his last two elections won like everywhere but his district and won his
Yep.
seat.
So I
Class
mean,
two.
it goes both ways.
Wanted to express my opinion.
Yep.
I
that's
I
good,
couldn't
but-
vote for any of you. Because none of in my
Thank you.
district.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No,
Appreciate you.
Hey.
Appreciate you.
Jim, I'm at large, you can still vote for me.
you won't be on
Okay.
Won't be if
Yeah.
this passes.
Yeah. All right, next we have Ms. Carol Slamowicz. Also, please restate your name and address for the record.
I'm Carol Slamowitz, 2156 Shad Road. I live on the off-road, North Beach, and I just wanted to make this Herculean effort again to see you guys. It's a lot of work to get here, and so I want you to know how much I would appreciate it when you guys come to see us. I completely understand what a challenge it is. So super excited about Mr. O'Neill, Mr. Angel, possibly coming on the 21st and taking a tour, and then on the 28th, Mrs. Rose and possibly Mr. Payment. So, and the other ones we will try to accommodate on August 28th if at all possible. There's a lot of things that are going up on the agenda that are pertinent to our community, and so it's absolutely imperative that you guys lay eyes on where it is that we live and what your choices are going to have as far as repercussions. We really want to maintain the character of our community, and I'm excited about the emphasis on safety. I'm excited about access, but I also want to make sure that we don't lose what makes our place so special. So anyway, I just wanted to thank you guys for making the effort to come out. I'm making the effort to come out so to remind you that I understand exactly what that is, and that we look forward to showing you where we live.
Ms. Lemwitz, I spoke with Edna today, and I'll be out of town on the 28th.
Yeah.
I understand she's nursing an injury, so we talked about perhaps after Labor Day, me reaching out to you
Absolutely.
guys.
We're going to work very hard to accommodate every single one of you. We really want.
And I just want the record to reflect, just because you haven't seen me up there doesn't mean I'm not up there.
That
I
is,
know, I'm very familiar with the four-wheel drive area, and I know what your issues are, and I just don't advertise that I'm up there.
right,
So
exactly.
I just don't want the impression left that some of us have never been up there or don't go up there. I've got family buried up there, so I have been up there many times.
Right,
I was there
yes.
the last 2 Sundays all day long.
I bet you were. It's been a very interesting summer, and again, with all the things on the agenda that pertain to us, and hoping that the timeline for next summer, that we see some changes that will affect us next year. I don't know what's on the agenda or what's on the fiscal budget, but yeah, we're very hopeful that summer 2027 will not look a whole lot like summer 2026. So, anyway,
Right.
thank you.
Thank you for coming. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak that didn't sign up? Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and move to the first agenda item, PB 26-10, Sacred Symmetry Syndicate. Mitchell and Lisa Marie Bear are requesting a special use permit to operate a tattoo parlor at 3593 Currituck Highway, Maple, tax map 59, parcel 64, Crawford Township. This time, I will ask anyone that's going to speak, either in favor or in opposition, to come and be sworn. And just so everybody understands, if you're not sworn, you won't be able to speak. So I ask you to put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes. Thank you. You are all sworn in.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening to you and the board. This is a special use permit request for a tattoo parlor at 3593 Currituck Highway in Maple. See how we'll do this. Here's aerial photography with the parcel outlined there in blue in the middle of the page. You can see that it abuts the water on one side, and it's approximately 2 lots south of the Currituck Trading Post. It's currently zoned general business. The future land use map classifies it as G1, low density growth. The Maple Barco small area plan classifies it as rural within that plan. It's within the airport compatible use zone. It's use zone 3. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. And it's also within the airport height restriction horizontal zone. Also within a special flood hazard zone, AE4, so any development on the property will have to meet the required flood elevations, which they will be doing. So getting to the actual property, and you can see the site plan here, and this is also in your agenda packet, showing the proposed development of the vacant lot with a single-family dwelling as well as an accessory structure. So the bay is here, Coinjack Bay, the house here to the rear of the property, accessory building with the proposed tattoo parlor on the ground floor. You can see the parking here and the driveway. This property, they will be proposing and building required parking spaces for the commercial tattoo parlor use. They'll be providing major arterial streetscaping, and you can see some of that depicted out here by Currituck Highway. And they are proposing a 6-foot opaque fence along the side property lines in accordance with the recently approved text amendment that permits tattoo parlors in the general business district. They are just appointment only. They do have hours of operation, and I'll tell you those here in a minute, and they are exactly as the ordinance allows. And they will need major site plan approval if this permit is issued. They'll apply for major site plan approval, and that I suspect will look super similar to this site plan that you're seeing before you tonight. They did provide these elevations. This is of the accessory building where the tattoo parlor will be located. The specific standards of the ordinance in the text amendment that was recently approved state that a tattoo parlor has to be at least 500 feet from any adult entertainment use, religious institution, public school, licensed daycare center, or another tattoo or body piercing studio, or a lot containing a public playground, public swimming pool, or public park. This particular property meets that requirement. Their signage will be limited to one sign, no more than 6 feet in area and 4 feet in height, no internal illumination. Again, the 6-foot opaque fence along the side property lines. There is no other tattoo parlor / body piercing establishment within 12 miles of the property lines of this property. Here's those hours of operation, which are consistent with the ordinance, 10 to 6 Monday through Saturday and noon to 6 Sunday. Again, they are proposing to operate appointment only. All services are proposed within the fully enclosed structure. And another standard of the ordinance was that there could be no other commercial use operating from the parcel, and there's no other commercial use being proposed on this particular parcel. This is just a map showing you that 12-mile radius. So you can see in the middle of the map, the red dot is this subject property. You can see up near the Virginia line in Moyock, there's a green dot here. This is the Big Country Tattoo Parlor, which is the only other one that we know of that's permitted and is non-conforming currently. So has been operating as a non-conforming use. You can see that this particular property meets the 12-mile radius requirement.
Though, how far is, there's that one in Grandview, right?
The one in Granny that's not permitted yet
Right,
is
it's
about
not
right here.
compliant,
If
but
you look
yeah.
at the map right there where
Right,
my
it's
arrow
not-
is,
they're
because
not
this is the
compliant, right.
solar farm.
Yep.
They're not permitted yet. They have actually submitted an application that's under review currently.
What makes the one in Moyock non-conforming?
Because it doesn't meet the current regulations.
Nothing in
Operating in a
particular,
general
it's
business zoning
several-
district. Exactly the reason why the board needed to amend the text amendment for this particular application to come forward, because it wasn't permitted in the zoning district, but it was established before the change to the ordinance that did not allow it. So back to some of the maps and the plans, the Maple Barco Small Area Plan, the rural designation. That plan provides for neighborhood serving commercial and states that development within that designation should be served by on-site septic. There are some land use plan policies as well, like land use policy 3 and 4, which encourage neighborhood serving commercial in the 158, 168 area and encourage and allow small locally owned businesses in the area. The airport overlay zone, we know that's there to protect the airport, and this property is in that area. It's incompatible use zone 3, which states that the allowable uses in that zone are limited to those that are permitted in the base zoning district. This is permitted in the base zoning district with the special use permit. The Imagine Currituck 2040 Vision Plan, the G1, this says G2, but it's G1 here in the paragraph. Sorry about that. Is intended for ag lands and low density growth that can be supported by limited small scale neighborhood retail. There's some appropriate land use and development types there in the list, included limited neighborhood commercial. Some land use policies related to considering adoptive small area plans and community character, carefully considering the design and location of potentially incompatible land uses, and support new and existing commercial developments that adhere to quality community appearance and design standards. Economic development policy 1, support retention and expansion of existing businesses and promote the development of new businesses that help diversify the local economy and are compatible with the natural amenities and environment. Maple Barco Airport Area Policy to encourage growth as a commercial center that supports mainland and Outer Banks tourism. And the G1, which is more related to residential uses. Special use permit shall be approved on a finding that the applicant demonstrates that the use is in compliance with the provisions of the ordinance and will not endanger the public health and safety, injure the value of adjoining or abutting lands, and be in harmony in the area with which it's located, be in conformity with the land use plan, and not exceed the county's ability to provide adequate public school facilities. I will note that there has been a change to the way that these special use permit review standards appear in the ordinance. So future Special use permits will be reviewed under a different set of review standards, but this was already in the process when that change was made. That's why you don't see that reflected here. The TRC did review this application, and it appears to be in compliance with the ordinance requirements, and a major site plan must be submitted for review and approval prior to construction. And I would be happy to answer any questions the board has for planning at this time.
Anyone have questions for Ms. Turner?
Just any structure that's built, including the one I just saw there, that then everything's going to have to comply with any state building regulations and
Sure.
requirements, right? Okay.
Anyone else?
Are there buffering or buffers that are, part of this?
It's the opaque fence was part of the buffering that's required when there's residential within 100 feet of the tattoo parlor itself.
Okay.
With that being said, and I'm trying to visualize, the one you have, there's the trading post, then there's the log cabin, and then it's the lot beside that, correct?
Correct.
Is there, on the other side, I think it's a rental home. There's a home on the other side. Would they have to put a fence on both sides then, I take it?
Right, they're proposing a 6-foot opaque
That's what-
fence on both side property lines.
Okay.
Anyone else? Hearing none, we will allow the applicant's presentation.
Do you want a certain slide up? Maybe the site plan?
That's probably fine.
This one?
Thank you.
Yep.
Good evening. My name is Ben Gallup. I'm an attorney. I live in Manio, and my law firm is the Gallup Law Firm. I appreciate y'all taking the time to hear this tonight. I'm here on behalf of Mitchell Bear and his wife, Lisa Marie Bear. Before I get any further, I wanted to express my condolences to this board and the county and the Etheridge family for the loss of Mr. Etheridge. I had a few dealings with him over time as an attorney, and I always found him to be one of the most respectful and gentlemanly people to deal with, whether he was on my client's side or on the other side.
Thank you.
Tonight we've got Mr. and Ms. Bear here. I'm not expecting them to testify, but if you have any questions of them, I'd be glad to have them answer it. We've also got Kim Tate here, who is an appraiser, who's going to give a couple of different opinions for you, and Dave Klebitz, who is an engineer with Bissell and Associates, or Bissell Professional Group, who's going to give you a few opinions as well. And if I could just start briefly while we were hot on the trail with Ms. Turner, if I could ask her a couple of quick questions before I get into our experts, if that would be okay with the board.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Ms. Turner. Can you tell me what you're looking at there?
This is the chart of adequate public facilities for the schools that's updated with the capacities, the number of students as well as percentages for each school. And it's updated through the end of last school year, May 2026 for the early college and June 2026 enrollment.
And is this the most up-to-date numbers that the county has
Yes.
on that issue? Does it show that there would be adequate public facilities or adequate public school facilities for this use?
Yes, it shows their existing availability at each school that would be impacted, that could be impacted by children at that location.
And all of the ones that could be impacted, there is, so you were saying there is existing available. That's great. Mr. Chair, I'd like to admit this document into evidence to make it part of the record if I could.
Unless anyone objects.
Thank you.
Start with the clerk.
Okay. And she'll pass them to us.
Thanks, Lee. You're my favorite.
I'll trade you.
Next, I would call Mr. Klebitz to come forward. Can you please tell the board your full name and occupation?
My name is David Michael Klebitz, and I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of North Carolina.
And where do you work?
I work for Bissell Professional Group in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina.
All right, I'm showing you a document here. Can you tell me what that is?
Yeah, this is just my qualifications that have been recently updated since the last time I did this.
And are they a fair representation of your training, education, and experience?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, could I introduce this into evidence as well? Mr. Klebitz, CB.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to tender Mr. Klebitz as an expert in civil engineering and analysis of land use and development projects.
Let me look at this real quick.
Unless anyone has an objection?
He doesn't have a twin brother, does he? I'm just kidding. He's got a twin brother because this guy's got glasses on. I couldn't let that one slide.
You say this was updated?
What recently?
You added some qualifications in here now?
Yes.
Okay.
Just changed, added some new projects.
Oh, okay. Thought you were
Sir,
getting more educated. There we go.
any objections from the board?
None.
Hearing none, we will accept.
Thank you.
Mr. Klebitz, what were you asked to do in this case?
Bissell was originally hired to do the survey of this property, and then that got rolled into doing the site plan for this property, which then rolled into assisting with the use permit process for the proposed tattoo use.
And in that process, have you developed some opinions related to those 4 standards that were up on the screen just a few minutes ago for special use permits?
Yes, I have.
You reached an opinion as to whether or not the proposed special use meets all the conditions and specifications of the county's UDO?
Yes, I have.
What was that opinion?
My opinion is that it's consistent with the county's Unified Development Ordinance, particularly the use-specific standards set forth recently in the text amendment for this particular use.
And have you reached an opinion as to whether or not the proposed special use does not endanger the public health or safety?
Yes, I do have an opinion on that.
What's your opinion?
My opinion that just in preparation of this plan and my experience, there are no inherent public health and safety issues with this plan, and I believe it, meets the county's ordinance. And given that we still have to go through the major site plan review process, that any other items that need to be addressed in the future will get ironed out in that process.
Have you reached an opinion as to whether the special use will be in general conformity with the county's land use plan and other officially adopted plans?
I have. I've reviewed all 3 of those plans, and it's my opinion that this development is consistent with those plans.
Okay. And have you reached any opinion about whether or not the special use will or will not exceed the county's ability to provide adequate public school facility?
So in this particular case, given the proposed use as a commercial tattoo operation that will not allow children under the age of 18, I think it's reasonable to conclude that this won't have an impact on the school system.
Thank you. I don't have any more questions for Mr. Klebitz. If the board has any questions.
Anyone have any questions for him? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next, we would call Mr. Tate. Can you please tell the board your full name and occupation, Mr. Tate?
My full name is Kimberly Boyd Tate. I'm a professional real estate appraiser licensed in the states of North Carolina and Virginia, but I go by Kim.
I never
And-
heard that name. I never heard the Kimberly Boyd. I'm sorry.
All right, you're going to get a report that's got my full name on it, but that's my mother named me that.
Okay, I like that.
I'm going to hand you a copy of a document. Can you tell me what you're looking at?
This summary of my qualifications and my history in the appraisal industry.
And is it a fair representation of your education, training, and experience as a professional appraiser?
It is.
And are you a SRA appraiser?
I am an SRA in the Appraisal Institute.
Can you describe what that means?
The name stands for Senior Residential Appraiser. It's the residential qualification for appraising properties. You go through a series of tests and basically write a demonstration report like a thesis to obtain this, and I obtained it in like 1988.
Thank you. And Mr. Chair, I'd like to tender Mr. Tate as an expert in land appraisal, valuation, and analysis of the effect of land use and development projects.
Yeah, Mr. Tate has testified before us several times and has been found as a professional witness. Unless the board has any objections, we're fine.
Thank you very much. Mr. Tate, what were you asked to do in this matter? Oh, and again, if I could come forward with his
Yeah,
CV,
just-
I'll give all of them to Miss. So that she can pass them around. I assume that Miss Morgan will get one.
Yeah, I feel left out. Thank you, Leanne. You're my favorite.
Gotta make it feel worthwhile.
Her husband Randy's the best.
Mr. Tate, what were you asked to do in this matter?
I was approached initially by you and then had a conversation with the Bears regarding evaluating this project to determine whether the proposed development of this site as laid out will not injure the value of adjoining or abutting lands and will be in harmony with the area in which it is located.
Okay. So have you reached an opinion on that analysis?
I have.
What's that opinion?
My opinion is that it will not have a negative impact on the value of adjoining or abutting lands, and it will be in harmony with the area in which it is located.
And can you briefly explain to the board how you reached that?
I will. This is a little bit different project than I've come before you before. A lot of times we're dealing with subdivisions, things like that. They're very easily met. As y'all are well aware, we don't have many tattoo parlors in Currituck County. There are two, the ones that were mentioned before. There's one that was out of compliance, it's down in Grandy, and then the Big Country Tattoo Parlor, which is up in Moyock. I'd like to make a distinction from my understanding of this project. I know that with the way the wording is, it's being called a tattoo parlor, but it's not the typical tattoo parlor as comes to your mind. I know we all have ideas of tattoo parlors and, gaudy signage and lighting and music and all hours of the night and all that. This is more of a studio setting. From discussing it with the Bears, their project, they have a following. People seek them out. Their business is on an appointment-only basis. Their appointments are set. People are in there, then they're out of there. Signage is going to be non-aggressive, and there's all kinds of limitations as to how they're doing this, but they're doing it in a very low profile, a very limited and controlled situation where, this is going to be their home. So they're not going to do anything that's going to injure or damage their property, in addition to looking out to the neighbors around them. The proposed development will include a residential home and about a 906 square foot tattoo studio, and it's located on the western shores of Coinjock Bay with frontage on Currituck Highway. The studio will be located between the home and Currituck Highway with screening and landscaping, as well as the existing trees and parking provided on the property. Like I said, an important part of this analysis is that this project's not a traditional high-profile tattoo parlor. The studio will be owner-operated by the two owner artists, and the service is provided by appointment only. There will be no walk-in customers, no outdoor services, no events, no amplified outdoor music, no alcohol sales, no public gathering area or roadside parking. The expected customer volume to these folks is very limited and controlled, with typically only 1 or 2 clients per day per artist. Once again, we go back to the market. I'm charged with trying to figure out how this, if it does, impacts the adjacent properties and the character of these properties. To determine and measure any impacts, we use the paired sales analysis. Paired sales, once again, is the analysis which considers the sale of a property to a different property with only one difference in order to determine the impact that difference had on the transaction price. To determine whether a tattoo business could negatively affect surrounding property, the report examined properties located near existing, and I'm going to use the word traditional tattoo parlors, the traditional tattoo parlor like you're used to seeing on the roadside. These type of businesses in Currituck County. Currently, only 2 such establishments are located in Currituck County: Big Country Tattoo Collective in Moyock and Siren Song Tattoo in Grandy, which has been discussed earlier. Given the location, the situs of Siren Song Tattoo in Grandy on Currituck Highway in a more commercially intense corridor, it was determined that property sales and resales activity in that area were not really available. In addition, that area is adjacent to a large solar farm, which could have had an impact and influenced the information that we were gaining from the statistical analysis. So we focus on Big Country Tattoo Collective because we were determined that it was a more reliable indication of impact of this type of development. Once again, keep in mind, this is a much more intense development that's being proposed here. Although, under the guidelines that are done, their model could be that intense, but their plan is not that based on how they've laid it out. In particular, sales and resales of properties near Big Country Tattoo Collective in Moyock were analyzed because that business represents a more intense use than the proposed Bear Tattoo Studio. The results were fairly significant. 3 nearby residential properties in Windswept Pines along the west side of Parish Point Lane. That's the road that's due east of where Big Country Tattoo is, were examined. These sales occurred and then resold during the time that Big Country Tattoo was operating a business. Researching their history, Big Country Tattoo started in about 2010 and then relaunched themselves with a refreshed look in 2015. So they've been up and running as a going concern for 16 years now. We looked at the sales along the western side of Parish Point Lane that abutted the area that is adjacent to Big Country Tattoo. Actually, 2 of the sales were directly to the east of it. And these sales and resales showed an annual appreciation rate of approximately 7.7 to 12.7% on a straight line basis, with a mean annual appreciation of about 10.42% on a straight line basis. These sales and resales occurred early 2019 and 2024. I think it's important to note that Windswept Pines is a newer neighborhood, and it was all very similar product built by the same builder. Currently, in 2025 and 2026, Windswept Pines has been acquired. The next phase has been acquired by another builder who's putting a different product in there. So we pretty much stayed away from that section because that's a whole different ball of wax. We were trying to stick with like kind properties dealing with a new subdivision like that, it's very easy to call out if any changes have been made from the time the house initially sold to the time the house sold again, like a pool wasn't added or a garage wasn't added or something like that, that could influence your outcome of your statistics. Then we took a look at the whole neighborhood of Windswept Pines, and as well as the Moyock housing market in large. And they were examined and analyzed from 2019 through 2025 to determine average annual appreciation on a straight line basis. Over this time frame, Windswept Pines experienced mean average appreciation of 7.32, and the overall Moyock market experienced an average annual appreciation rate of about 8.5% on a straight line basis. Once again, lumping in all of the Moyock market, you're getting a lot of highs and lows, you're getting acreage properties, you're getting stuff on the water. I feel much more confident in the information that we got from Windswept Pines because we're dealing with like-kind properties. The appreciation of these properties near the tattoo business in Windswept Pines fell right into the range experienced by comparable properties in the surrounding markets of all of Windswept Pines and the Moyock market overall. This research and analysis support that a traditional, and I'm going to use the word once again, tattoo parlor does not negatively impact the marketability or value of nearby properties. Given that the subject proposed use and business model is substantially lower profile, controlled, and less intensive than that of a traditional tattoo parlor, it stands to reason that the subject proposed use will not negatively injure the value of nearby properties. In addition, a number of local realtors, real estate brokers, and developers were interviewed. The consensus was that the proposed studio's low profile, low traffic operation would not negatively affect neighboring properties. Some even opined that it would even have less impact than some other common home-based businesses such as beauty salons, photography studios, counseling services, or pet groomers. In conclusion, based on the sales data, the market analysis, and professional interviews, this report concludes that the proposed Bear Tattoo Studio will not injure the value of adjoining or abutting lands, and that it will be in harmony with the area in which it's located.
Mr. Tate, you mentioned a report. Did you prepare a report for this?
I did.
Is that a copy of your report there in your hand?
That's 12 copies.
12 copies. One for myself. And
Well
were all the facts and data contained in your report either gathered personally by you or otherwise made known to you before this hearing?
Yes.
Were all the facts, data, and information contained in your report of a type reasonably relied upon by experts in your field to determine and form opinions such as you have provided?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask to have this admitted into the record.
Yes, sir. Please hand it to our clerk.
Thank you very much.
He cut down some trees.
Yeah, he's getting paid by
You
the
ain't gonna just
page.
slide them? I didn't want to get up and make you mad.
Does anyone?
We did send it in electronically, but it was a little bit late, so we
Fine.
bring it to you this evening. That's all of our showing, Mr. Chair. The only thing I would ask is that all the agenda materials be admitted as part of the record as well.
Yes, sir. Does anyone have any questions of Mr. Tate before he steps back? Thank you. Continue.
Mr. Chair, I don't know if you wanted me to provide any sort of wrap-up post-evidentiary portion of the hearing or not. I think it would be very short, and I can do it right now if you'd like.
Yeah. Well, typically what we would do now is public participation, but no one signed up. So
Got sworn in, so.
So no one was sworn in, no one signed up. So if you'd like to do that at this time,
Yes,
that
sir.
would be appropriate.
To be as brief as possible, I think there are really 5 requirements here. One is compliance with the ordinance, just generally in terms of setbacks and placement of things. The other is your more detailed compliance with your tattoo studio ordinance. You've heard from Ms. Turner and Mr. Klebitz that we met that standard. The next question is whether or not it would endanger the public health or safety, and again, Mr. Klebitz told you it would not. Similarly, Mr. Tate confirmed that it will not substantially injure the value of adjoining property and will be in harmony with the area it's located. And Mr. Klebitz told you it would be in conformity with the land use plan and other official plans. The last standard is that it wouldn't exceed the county's ability to provide adequate public facilities. Given that there's space at all the, for public schools, given that there's space at all the schools, and this is a commercial use that's not going to add any children to the mix. And Mr. Klebitz also opined that it would not exceed the county's ability to provide those. So we believe we've met all the standards, and we appreciate your time and consideration, and we look forward to your decision. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a question for Ms. Turner. When this use was moved into general business, what are the setbacks?
The setbacks are the general business setbacks. So it's 15 on the side. The front is based off the Currituck Highway standard, which is it 100 feet? 100 feet. And then on the rear, since it's on the shoreline, it would be the CAMA setback of 30 feet.
Okay, and the UDO, it references the 500. I've just confirming that is another light business, correct?
I'm sorry, repeat that again.
There's somewhere in the UDO, it talks about a setback of,
Oh, the 500 with
Yeah,
the new standard 500 feet from certain
Yeah.
uses. Yes,
so it's not in conflict with any setbacks.
correct.
Thank you. All right. Questions?
I do have a question. It's nothing to do with the approval process here. It's more of a informative question, maybe to the owners, or the applicant. I see the DPOR requirements here. Does North Carolina require to take a test for that to get the similar, or I don't know if this may be reciprocal. I don't know. I'm curious.
North Carolina, a health department fee of $500 per artist. They come out and they do their annual check. It's $500 per artist per year. There's no DPOR paperwork. North Carolina doesn't have a licensing, state licensing. Yeah. So we still go through our Virginia qualifications because it's more intense. So we just continue to keep our Virginia licenses.
Again, I was just informed because I see they added here, and I never saw it with the state of North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Hearing none, I'm going to close the hearing and ask the board for a decision.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve PB 2610 Sacred Cemetery Syndicate Special Use Permit because the applicant has demonstrated the proposed use meets the review standards of the UDO. The use will not endanger the public health or safety. Tattoo is regulated by North Carolina, and they're obviously overqualified with their licensing in Virginia. The use will not injure the value of adjoining or abutting lands and will be in harmony with the area in which it's located. Mr. Tate has testified using data that it will not injure the value, and the use will be in conformity with the land use plan or other adopted plans. This includes land use plan goals 2 and 3, land use policies 1.3, 2.1, and 2.2, economic development goal 1 of the Imagine Currituck vision plan. And finally, the use will not exceed the county's ability to provide adequate public facilities as no impact will be made according to Jenny Turner's testimony.
We have a motion for approval. Do we have a second?
I second.
Have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I told the young man before the meeting he had one of the most complete applications, neatest, cleanest. She had one of the nicest applications I've seen.
I will say the thoroughness, it blew me away. So.
I was their meetings, like you think about them, we have the public meetings and they'll have like for a subdivision or for something. Like their meeting was heavily
They
attended.
had 2 pages of people.
Yeah, they had two, I mean, like I said, and that was pretty impressive as well, too. So.
All right, so,
Okay.
thank you.
It's obvious that you want to do a good job, and we expect that.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you all.
All right,
Really appreciate everything. Thank you.
we will now continue on. Next item, legislative hearing. HPC 26-01 Boswood Morris. Rhonda Morris is requesting to designate property as a local historic landmark. The house is located on 2.98 acres at 4379 Currituck Highway, Barco, tax map 70, parcel 34M in the Crawford Township. Ms. Turner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Firstly, I'd like to start by thanking Ms. Rhonda Morris for her interest in preserving a piece of Currituck County's history with this application. Also, it's unfortunate that Patrick Leary, our Planner 1, is not able to be here tonight to present this to you. He did a really good job of researching the property and helping prepare the local landmark report, and probably is way more qualified to do this than I am, but I'm going to present this to you. So local landmark designation, it's purely voluntary. It's an honor. And it's also makes a property owner eligible for a 50% tax deferral as long as the property's important historic features are maintained. And then once approved, if there's any exterior changes to the property, that will go through what's called a certificate of appropriateness review, which goes to the Historic Preservation Commission. There are some minor things that can be approved by the staff. The Historic Preservation Commission has done a lot of work to get to this point, and there are several properties that currently have this designation. There's an inventory adopted that's available online. And with respect to design guidelines, the typical Secretary of the Interior standards have been adopted to use. Just indicating that the property should generally conform with what makes it significant and have integrity. So to be designated as a local landmark, a property must be found to possess special significance in terms of its history, prehistory, architecture, archaeology, or cultural importance, and also to retain the integrity of its design, setting, workmanship, materials, feeling, or association. This particular property is called the Boswood Morris House. It's located at 4379 Currituck Highway in Currituck, owned by Rhonda Morris. It's about 2.98 acres. You can see on the map there, there's a circle around the property, and I'm sure you're probably familiar if you've ridden down Currituck Highway. This property has certainly probably caught your eye at one time or another because you can tell that it's old and it's not what you typically see being built these days. Here's a map that shows the exterior property lines of the property, the 2.98 acres. You can see there's the house there in the middle. There are some outbuildings that are not included in the designation with respect to maintaining them. They were not part of the application. The architectural significance, this is an extended I house. And it's an example of a simple yet distinct architecture prevalent in the Mid-Atlantic rural community, especially in the Tidewater South after 1825. You can see an old picture of the house there as well. These are the different elevations of the property. You can see that it's well preserved. So I was mentioning that it needs to have integrity and significance, and so I'll go through just the factors to determine integrity. Its location, it's located on the highway in Currituck. It's on about 3 acres on the east side of the highway. It's about 220 feet from the highway, and a township characterized by sparse residential development and some low-density modern commercial properties. For the design, it's the simple vernacular I-house style architecture. If anyone's interested in what vernacular means, that really just means that really no architect was involved. People were just using the skills and design that were available to them in certain areas. Workmanship, the exterior architectural details of the house are distinctive features of the I-house architectural style. defined by use of common materials and form with little ornamentation. Homes of this type were built through shared knowledge. Well, I got ahead of myself, didn't I? Carried by families and communities and not by architectural blueprints, catalog, or pattern books. For the particular house, the materials, or most of the original materials, remain. Double hung windows, 2/2, are still present, covered with storm windows. The balloon framing is constructed with a true cut lumber. Another fun fact, balloon framing means that it doesn't have like a, the beams go all the way to the roof, so there's not like a platform framing that it's on. They're tall poles, and I think it's interesting that that balloon framing was constructed with true cut lumber sourced from within the bounds of the original property, which was a much larger property at the time, but it was sourced from right there. The house sits on a brick pier foundation. The roof consists of composite shingles, the front porch of 4x4 posts with metal screening, as well as canvas awnings. The feeling, ooh, the feeling. You can tell that it's the past. You can feel, right, when you're seeing that. So that's always one that I like to talk about. So it's surrounded by farmland and maintains a living reminder of the past during the present. And the association, Boswood Morris House is associated with historic Barco as an example of traditional British folk form in Currituck County. The house has been continuously lived in and cared for by the same family since its construction, which is pretty cool, reflecting a legacy of stability, pride, and deep personal history, and it's still used as a single-family dwelling. And it's being proposed for designation because of its local architectural and cultural significance in the county. And the staff recommends approval, and the Historic Preservation Commission also recommends approval of the proposed ordinance designating the Boswood Morris House as a local historic landmark in Currituck County. And I'll just add that at your chair, you do have the ordinance. So if the board does choose to make a motion to approve the ordinance, that's the ordinance that you're approving, that will then be recorded at the Register of Deeds. And at this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions. I'll try.
Anyone have questions?
Just got one. So they built this house in the 1900s. There was no permitting or inspections or code or anything, and it's still there.
Right.
It's crazy that they could do that stuff back then.
I have a comment here. I'm looking at the tax bill from December 16th of 1902. Poll tax of $3.26, a state tax of 35 cents, a school tax of 26 cents, the county general tax 34 cents, and then there was a county special tax of, can't quite make that out, but anyways, the total tax bill in 1902 was $4.81. And the next year, it jumped to $18.98. So I know there was a whole new board of commissioners after that. They threw all those rascals out after it went up. But it's just amazing how much things have changed, like he was talking about, and preserving the history. It's important. So I don't know if anyone has any questions or further comments. If I hear none. I'll open the public hearing. We have no one signed up to speak. You didn't sign up, but we'll let you speak anyways.
All right, Mike Pavin, you told me I didn't need to sign up.
You didn't have to sign up. You're the applicant. We were going to give you the.
Speaking of commissioners getting fired.
Okay, all right, Paul.
Look,
Everybody knows. Like, don't listen to them.
She doesn't have to sign
You
up.
didn't have to sign up.
you know Rhonda Marsh is going to talk.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on, Rhonda. Just tell everybody your name and your address, just to make it official.
Rhonda Morris, 4379 Currituck Highway. I'm the fourth generation to live in this particular house, and there was an older home behind me that would have been two generations before. And you all have a lot of the documentation that is really just this much of the documentation. I'm 10th generation native of Currituck County, and there are 12 generations of us living in Currituck County. But you know. And when you talk about the significance, the cultural significance of a place and the contributions of the family, I can think of in my lifetime, but if you look at my grandparents even. I don't think many people know that my grandmother, Edna Morris, was responsible for us having the Eastern Regional Library system. So that all the kids in all these counties and all adults in all these rural counties would have access to the state's books. You know, I mean, people know about my judge and my grandfather, Judge Chester Morris, and his contributions. I mean, I have the scissors from where he cut the ribbon for the last paved section of highway from Manteo to Murphy. You know, just scads and scads and scads of history. And our family goes back to the mother vine in Manteo. That's where it traces back to. But this particular property, you can feel it. I mean, when you go up, you feel it. And I feel my people in that house and on that property. And this is something that is so important that people who have come new to Currituck County, there are about 23% of us left who are natives of Currituck County. And I'm thankful for my father and what he did in the history of this county, in documenting that in the books that he wrote to document our history, and making it, he and Wilson Snowden, making it possible that Pat O'Neill, you know, that we have the Maritime Museum, you know, all these things. My grandfather was a part owner of the Whalehead Club, for that matter. But at any rate, I just think that it's so important that people learn about the history of this county that they're coming into. And that those of us who can preserve whatever we can preserve of it, do it. And please continue to put in the county newsletter, because this is how I knew about doing this. Keep it in there. I mean, keep it in there, that announcement, because there are other houses in my family that could certainly go through this process. And there are other houses in families throughout this county that could be doing this. And it's important. It's just really, really important. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morris. Need a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Let me close the public hearing, so it's official. Now we need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve HPC 2601 Boswell Morris House Historic Landmark, or his local historic landmark application. I move to approve the ordinance designating the Boswood Morris House as a local historic landmark in Currituck County because the applicant has demonstrated the property has architectural significance and the property retains integrity of the design and settings.
Have a motion for
I'll
approval.
second it. Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Rhonda. And staff and historical.
And Rhonda, just to clarify,
Yeah.
we normally let the applicants come up and present, so we don't have to have them sign in. So we, you know, I'm gonna correct Paul over here. So.
She put perfume in my shoes in second grade, so. So,
And I wonder
okay.
why.
We're gonna, I didn't think so. So now we're gonna move on to new business. An ordinance amending Chapter 2, Article 3 of the County Code of Ordinances, Division 15, Library Advisory Board, second reading. We passed this at our last meeting, but it requires a second reading because we have a vacancy on the Board of Commissioners. So we need a motion, unless you have something to add.
No, that was all I was going to say.
Move for
So
approval.
moved. Second.
I have a
Third.
motion, a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is,
You gotta
I'm
recuse
going to
yourself.
recuse myself, and we'll hand the gavel to Ms. Jarvis.
Okey-dokey.
And you have permission to whack somebody with it.
Oh, boy.
Especially
Mike.
with
The power
your
of
left.
it all.
Now get over there,
Especially
get
Mike.
close to Kevin over there.
She's got to throw it at me.
I don't like
Exit
this.
the room.
Selena, just in case you need to throw that at Kevin, I'm out of
All right,
range.
it's all you.
All right, the item under new business, item 2, consideration of contract for the purchase of real property owned by Corova Sands LLC and West Beach Properties LLC. And I will turn it over to our county attorney, Ms. Morgan.
Yes, thank you. Before you is an offer to purchase property owned currently by Corova Sands LLC and West Beach Properties LLC. It's 5 parcels in the off-road area. As you can see, the offer is for $5.6 million. That was the appraised value. The county did get a proper appraisal done. I would say there's an examination period, which is also known as a due diligence period, and the copy that you all have before you, I think states July 22nd, which we all know has passed. So I would recommend in your motion, if you choose to approve this purchase, that you would move that due diligence period out. I would recommend August 31st or some other date that you think is appropriate.
That would be a condition.
Yes. And if you do approve the purchase, the funding for this will later be discussed during the TDA meeting.
Any questions for Ms. Morgan?
I do have a question. When she said the funding will be, or I'm sorry, if it's approved, the funding would be discussed in the TDA as far
That's right.
as the breakdown of how
That's right. Yes.
OCTAX.
It's under both the consent agenda
Yeah,
and
so-
the TDA.
That's what I
Yes,
thought.
because
Okay.
the percentage
It's actually
will
funding in
be,
2 different places.
And if the due diligence period is moved, that would give us time to either have staff or employ a home inspector to go and
that's correct.
check and determine what the insurance would cost to insure the house.
Yes, that's correct. That gives the county additional time to look into those matters.
Okay, any other questions for Ms. Morgan? If not, I will take a motion.
I move to approve consideration for contract for the purchase of real property owned by Corova Sands LLC and West Beach Properties, but I would like to include extending the due diligence to August 31st.
Okay, I have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Somebody go get Paul.
Wake him up first, he's sleeping in there.
Already?
That was good.
Smell that perfume now. He done left the building. He went home.
He's making a phone call.
Should have been here an hour.
He's went home. What-
I could have been in my house if I was in. I didn't tell him, so they put $1,500 cash. We won't lose it.
The gavel awaits you, Mr. Chairman.
I hadn't even gotten to sleep good.
You didn't hit anybody?
I smell that perfume there.
Mike said somebody's going to have to wake him up.
Yeah. Okay. Item 3, board appointments. We have for the Corova Beach Roads Maintenance Service District Advisory Board, Greg Rosick. And for the Ocean Sands Crown Point Watershed Service District, we have Ray Hartman.
And
For Parks and Eric Anderson. And for Parks and Recreation, John Gillum. All those, well,
make a motion for approval.
Second.
Can I ask a question?
yes, you may.
Corova Roads Maintenance Service District Advisory Board, is Tony, are you on that board?
No,
There's no commissioner on that board?
there's no
correct?
commissioner on that board.
Okay.
Do you want to be on that board?
No, I'm fine. I didn't know, I spoke to somebody yesterday about it, and I thought Tony was.
No, that board is set up for non-resident property owners and property owners.
Property owners, and then
in the service district.
And
You
then
got, you got
And
a
then the
couple
fire
months
chief.
left?
unloading the fire chief, and I believe Captain Smith is the other.
Yep.
You
I
got
just
a
didn't
couple
know if
months
we
left,
had-
Kevin.
What's that?
You got a few months left. You want to jump on?
No, I'm good.
We'd have to change the makeup for the board for that to happen.
I have
I'm
a
good.
question too. Is that board one that would report to us, like after the last storm we had that dumped tons of water? Do they report to us and tell us when there's problems?
I mean, the county manager could probably speak to it better than I can, but they interact with the county engineer. Like that is their contact for contractual needs.
After all the rain from the beginning of August,
Yep.
when I worked the beach duty on the 9th and rode back on some of the side roads, I was like, whoa.
Impassable. I mean,
I
we
couldn't
heard
even get
from
some of the
one
houses
lady
I
who
was
had to
built
get
working
home
on
by
back there.
boat.
This is an ongoing issue. It's just, this one's happened this time, the last one happened
Yep.
3 months ago, and the one before that was 6 months ago. This is a continuation of the issue of not having any dirt for the roads and not being able to address the drainage.
I just wondered what the role of this Corova Roads Maintenance Service
Well,
District
they have long meetings
Advisory
'cause the wheels
is
on that.
in keeping it.
Yes.
So the main purpose of that advisory board is they are the ones that kind of, I'm not going to say regulate, but they offer the structure to what roads need to have maintenance. What is the periodicity of the maintenance? So, Ocean Sands, it needs it once a month. Maybe, Mob Jack, it needs it once every 2 months. Teal, it needs it once every 3 months. Like, those numbers are completely made up, but that's really the function of that board. That and making sure the work is done satisfactory to what the contract requires.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Am I accurate in that statement?
Yeah, so they do. They prioritize the roads in terms of frequency of maintenance and order of maintenance.
The real, I'll go ahead and pull the scab off. The real issue is the North Carolina legislature gave the Board of Commissioners authority to impose a service district and generate a tax to fix the roads. The Board of Commissioners have never been willing to generate sufficient tax to fix the roads, so all we do is trade sand from one mud puddle to another mud puddle because not sufficient revenue is generated from the tax. If the board actually wants to fix those roads, you're going to have to impose a larger tax on the service district. As it is now, all we're doing is just going back and forth, trading dirt, and been doing it for the last several years and going to continue doing it unless the folks up there are willing to accept the tax required and the board is willing to impose the tax required, because you can't use property tax on the roads. You can only use a special service district tax, and it has to be taxed on the people who benefit from the district. And so that's our real issue, is lack of enough funds and not.
They need material.
And material.
Material is, yeah, they need material.
Just a question for our county manager, under the consent agenda, we have the text amendment application for sand mines in SFR. Is that the intent to help find sand to fix the roads? Is that the intent of the application?
Yes, so that was a board-directed text amendment that we had discussed with you all. But yes, it's to allow for that extractive industry in the off-road.
So the intent of that is to help with the roads?
Yes.
Up in the Corova, yeah.
It's actually written in such a manner that's pretty much all you're going to be able to use it for.
Right.
Makes it even better.
And so then we'll have some more material, but
Right.
after a while, that's going to berm up on the sides in people's yards too, like it always does. But that's the conundrum we have up there, and it's been that way for decades.
Okay.
So we had a motion for approval.
Sorry for asking the question.
No, it was a good question.
Yeah,
I'm actually mad at you. You don't want
I know, I was just kidding.
Who made the motion?
Me.
And who seconded it?
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion?
Well, Janet seconded it too.
Janet
Yeah, she did, that's
But
right.
you can if you'd like.
I was getting ready to say it.
Hearing no further discussion, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. Next item is consent agenda. Have a motion for approval.
Move for approval?
Second.
Have a motion, a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
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 Next item's Commissioner's Report. Ms. Rose, would you like to go first tonight?
I have nothing.
Okay. Well, Mr. Payment?
Just one little kudos I want to throw out there. if any of y'all have ridden south, just past the Grandy ABC store, there's that new Dollar Tree right there. And the trees got so overgrown and kind of going over the highway that if you were trying to exit that driveway onto the highway and there's a slight bend there, you can't see the road at all until your nose is probably 5 feet sticking out.
Yeah.
Are they crepe myrtles?
Well, some citizens approached me, says my district, and I said, look, you go, say something, because we can't do anything, so contact DOT. So the citizen went on the website, filled out the form and detailed, hey, this is a hazard, it needs to be trimmed back, blah, blah. Within a week, DOT was out there with their tree service and trimmed that all the way back on the other side of the ditch, clean the ditches, the tree line, and it's a nice, safe, viewable spot. So I just want to give kudos to
John Farrell and his guys.
There's a way to get things done if you follow a process, and they did get back and they got it done. So to everyone out there, if you see something like that, there's places you can put your submit your concerns in, and again, just kudos. They addressed it, and it did make it a safer place. So that's the only thing I wanted to say.
I will say, if my memory serves correct, when we met with DOT, was it last year at the Public Safety Building, we did inquire of a site alignment study for them to go up and down this highway and look at those things. And if I remember correct, they said that they would be willing to do that.
Well, they jumped on this one.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
talking
recall,
about for
but
the whole quarter. So I would like the manager to write a letter, because that's not the only place. To asking them to do a site triangle study of our corridor, because there's several places.
Moyoc Post Office being one.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Jarvis.
Thank you. I want to say congratulations to COA. They had a 100% first-time pass rate on their medical laboratory technology graduates. This is something that they track across the state, and they only track it for the first time that you take the test. And all 6 members of the group passed it on the first try. And this is a degree program that deals with classroom instruction, laboratory training, clinical experience, and these are the same people that you encounter when you go in and get diagnosed and get treated for any type of disease or ailment. And they passed the study in areas of chemistry, hematology, microbiology, and I knew I was going to screw it up, immunohematology.
Good
I can't even
gosh.
pronounce it, let alone try to pass a test with it. So congratulations to all of them. And of course, next week, we will see the rest of our students start school. Our early college is already in session, as well as students attending COA classes on our Currituck campus. So just please be mindful of students out. It's an early morning. You may be headed to your job that you go to every single day, but these students are riding the bus, some of them for the first time, and parents are a little stressed taking their kids to school. So please be mindful of those buses out on the road, and keep the teachers and teachers' assistants and all of our faculty and staff in your prayers, because it is a very difficult time and a big transition for many, many people. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McCord.
To piggyback on what Commissioner Jarvis said, school starts the 24th. If you're riding down Tulse Creek Road, be advised there's some new school signs for school zones. It's $468, and your insurance will go up 4 or 5 points if you want to get a speeding ticket in a school zone. Ooh. So, and I'll tell you right now, it doesn't matter what your last name is or who you know. You speed in a school zone, we'll get you a reservation, an RSVP right to the courthouse at 2801 Currituck Highway with no problem at all. Like I said, it's a lot of kids, safety. Be smart. If you are going to be late, wake up earlier. It's the easiest thing, or just be late like myself. Rhonda told me, she said, 60 seconds? I made it in time. I was proud of myself. 30. I tried to pad it. It's all good. But it's hot outside too. We had some stuff. We're getting a lot of calls in the community, animals as well as human. It's hot. And if you're out working in the heat, drink plenty of water, Gatorade, whatever, because it's hot. It's not getting any better. And like I said, it's traffic. We got a few more weeks, and then it's going to dial back big time. Thank the Lord of everybody going to our beaches. We appreciate them coming, and won't,
Can't wait for them to leave.
Can't wait for them to leave in a few weeks because the traffic's been bad. We've had a lot of wrecks this year, and and some of them were, not to go into specifics, but some of them, like we had one, and once you get a bad wreck, it shuts the whole day down. Mayock did never recovered, not this weekend, but the weekend before, and that was something where, it was a turnover, one vehicle, stuff like that. When it happens, it's you don't. The day never recovered. And the worst invention in the world is those Waze apps, because those stoplights work properly, exception of everybody and their brother. You see the luggage racks on the top or the back, the Jersey plates, the New Hampshire, the Massachusetts, coming down Sawyertown, Tulse Creek Road, and that light at 7-Eleven never gets to do properly because of those apps that people take advantage of. So,
Mr. Angel?
That's it.
I got two things. One, a reminder, the Knott's Island DOT meeting, September 3rd at 6 p.m. at Knott's Island Elementary. This is a quote-unquote listening session about the proposed, well, I guess it's not proposed at this point, about the new legislation that has authorized tolls on the ferries. The other thing, for everybody listening, the Emily Wells, who's kind of our contact for U.S. Fish and Wildlife, she's the one that put together the meeting over at the school about possible improvements to Mackey Island. She's reached out to myself and Rebecca about coming back. They've done some analysis. They listened. They've ran some modeling. They want to come back with their proposed ideas. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 things are going into Corey's ditch. So that's a solid start. I like when the emails from Fish and Wildlife start off that way. But this is a prime example of the community gave input. They listened. They took notes. They went back. They're looking at things. The culverts were a big thing that they wanted to look at. So sometime in October, they will be back out, hopefully, for a follow-up session with the community. So just putting that out there well ahead of time.
All right. Two things from me. I've had opportunity to go through Moyock a few times over the last few weekends. And the good folks in Moyock are now suffering the same thing that the folks in Lower Currituck have suffered for 20, 30 years. And it's pretty much gridlock at each end of the county. And even going through Barco on the weekends in Grandy, it is just unbelievable the amount of traffic. And I don't know what can be done about it, but I'll tell you, people's tolerance is getting low. I see a lot of, people giving you the one finger wave and a lot of different things, but Moyock, since the inception of those traffic lights up there, the one at the 7-Eleven, it looks like Lower Currituck has looked for the last 30 years, and those folks up there are getting pretty frustrated. I don't know what the answer is. There was talk back when I was on the board years ago. DOT was looking at putting a bypass around Moyock, and of course, that's like everything else, it kind of just fell off the chart, I guess. And it's like the 4-laning of 158 between Camden and Barco. That was going to happen in 2009, and I think we're in 2026, and all they've done is just put a few stakes in the ground. So if the manager could get us an update on what actually is going on with the widening of 158, that would be a nice report as well. And then lastly, we all know that Commissioner Etheridge passed on June 25th. At that time, the clock started ticking for the Currituck County Republican Party to meet, take applications, and put forth a name to us to vote to finish Mr. Etheridge's term. Of course, the statute says we can accept the Republican Party's nomination, or we can nominate someone else. But the 60 days will be up on Tuesday of next week. So Monday, we will be having a special meeting here in this courthouse. Did we decide at 5 or 6?
I always said 5.
I thought it was 5.
Let's do 5.
Can you do 5?
I could do 5, but I got to drive around. I was trying to take the ferry.
You don't want to pay a toll.
I got to increase some numbers. That way they know that it's being used.
We'll just send somebody across in your path.
Chances are it'll be.
So we will be having a special meeting on Monday, August 24th, to accept the recommendation from the Currituck County Republican Party and then voting on a replacement to finish the term of Commissioner Owen Etheridge. And then in December,
Swearing in?
yeah, swearing in of that person probably again. And, but anyways, Monday night we'll be having a special meeting. The board will be meeting here at 5 o'clock on the 24th. Did I miss anything, Madam Attorney or Madam Manager?
No.
Okay, I know there's been a lot of chatter wanting to know what was going on, so there it's out there. And that's my report. County Manager, do you have anything?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Rose requested our last meeting that I provide an update on work that's been going on in our stormwater districts. So our stormwater technician, Eli Burge, prepared some information for me to share with you this evening. I'll start with Moyoc Service District. Consultant Withers Ravenel is developing an implementation plan for the Army Corps study that was completed back in 2018. We anticipate 4 to 6 months to complete the report and make recommendations. This work will address flooding issues for the Guinea Mill watershed, which includes the lateral ditches. He's also been working with a beaver trapper to address beaver dams along Guinea Mill Canal.
Yes.
Moyoc Ditch 6 outlet is being reshaped following Dominion's servicing of power lines and damage to the ditch. He's also been doing some ditch cleaning on Ditch 3 between A and B streets and restoring an outlet to Roland Creek from roadside ditch of Guinea Road. Also, I had previously shared that there was some work done behind Mr. Ely's house that you had asked about. In Hogbridge Ditch is working with farmers from the district to address clogged culverts and alligator weed buildup within Hogbridge Ditch. Also recently worked with NCDOT to address clogged pipe and ditches along South Indian Town Road. Within the Northwest Watershed Service District, Mr. Burge recently worked with NCDOT to address drainage along Northwest Backwoods Road. And is also working with a property owner to address stormwater on their property prior to construction of a residential home. Also, I will add that I have not forgotten that I need to get in touch with Mr. Joe Hobbs about Northwest. Over in Whalehead Service District, we are working through construction of Phase 6 of the groundwater lowering project and researching possible improvements to include additional pumping stations along Lighthouse Drive and a dry pond on Sturgeon, on the paper street where we have the drainage way. And over in Ocean Sands, overseeing construction of segment 5 of the groundwater lowering system, as well as having recently contracted quarterly maintenance of Ocean Sands ditches 1 and 2.
Thank you.
Sure.
Can I ask the manager a question?
Sure can.
When you mentioned beaver dams, this reminded me, we used to have a program that there was contractors that could take, do we still have that and we pay for the pelts or something?
We do. That's administered through Soil and Water.
Okay, but we still have that program. There's
We
certain
do.
people that can.
They still do it.
They still
Yes.
do it? Okay, okay.
Yes, my understanding, there's some problems down in the Grandy area back behind the Carolina Club with beaver dams. Also, I was approached, since you brought up the ditches, I was approached by Mr. Roberts on the Soil and Water, and you were talking about down Scaff Lane. He told me that there is a place down there where there used to be a culvert and there's no longer a culvert and it's dammed up. I'm not aware of what he's talking about, but I told him, he was asked, could we do a work session? I told him we don't need to do that. Just let the management know. So if you could reach out to Mr. Roberts, he had a couple of concerns about some drainage up in Moyock. Is that it?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you. Madam Attorney?
No report.
All right, I'm gonna bail out again for a minute.
Okay. I need to close it.
You
right?
got, you wanna, okay.
Okay.
We're gonna
She can
dock
close
his,
it.
dock his pay for having to walk out.
Man.
Okay, and with that, I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting and convene a special meeting of the Tourism Development Authority.
So moved.
Second, third.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. And I will call to order the special meeting of the Tourism Development Authority. We have 3 budget amendments. The first one I will turn over to the county manager for the airport grant. Anything you need to?
No, I don't have anything to share.
Okay.
Unless anyone has any questions.
All right. Does anybody have any questions about the first budget amendment in the amount of $249,955? All right. I'll take a motion to approve.
Can we do them all at once, or?
No.
No,
We gotta
we
do them
can't.
separate? Oh,
We
that's
have
right,
to do them
because we got the separate one, you're right.
Can I get a motion for
So
approval?
moved.
Okay, second.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Our second budget amendment is for the ball field lighting, the Community Park Phase 3 project. Anything to comment on that, Ms. Manager?
No, I don't have anything additional to add. This is for the Musco lighting for the ball fields.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? Motion carries. And then our final budget amendment is, I think we actually have 4, sorry. Our third budget amendment is for the school capital reserve fund. Anything for that? I'm on the wrong one.
Just maintenance.
Yeah, I think,
I am, sorry.
From December of 24.
Yeah,
No, I'm
sorry.
just kidding.
No, I'm on the wrong one. I have totally messed that up, and I apologize. I had it up. I apologize. Those were not the right ones. We have, I need to go back and do them all. I'm
Let's start
sorry.
over.
I totally messed that up. Our first one, which is on page 167, and I was on, 166, is for beach rescue agreement in the amount of $66,826. Do you need to comment on that one? All right, now, may I
move
get?
for approval.
All right, can I get a second? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. All right, our second one is, I'll turn this over to our county attorney. It is for the purchase of real property owned by Corova Sands LLC and West Beach Properties LLC.
Yes, so this is for the purchase of those Corova Beach properties that you already approved during new business. And I think Commissioner Angel has a motion prepared because we are using 30% of the purchase with occupancy tax.
So there's, Ms. Chair or Ms. Vice Chair, move to approve the TDA budget amendment to move funds for the purchase of the 5 parcels in the off-road area owned by Corova Sands LLC and West Beach Properties LLC in the amount of $1.68 million using occupancy tax funds. The budget amendment presented contains tourism-related purposes that promote tourism and enlarge its economic benefit by enhancing the ability of the county to attract and provide tourists. Purchase of this property furthers the goals and policies of the county adopted, or of the county's adopted plans that are related to tourism. The Imagine Currituck 2040 Vision Plan identifies appropriate land uses and development types in the O2 reserve land classification, including county parks, public water access, and related amenities. Economic Development Goal 2 is to promote suitable tourism that improves quality of life for residents and preserves the natural and cultural resources of the county so that they may continue to attract visitors to the area. Economic Development Policy 2.2 encourages establishment of new outdoor recreation amenities, visitor attractions, destinations, and ecotourism opportunities. The Currituck County Parks and Recreation Master Plan emphasizes the importance of water access by stating the county's economy is dependent upon the tourism that is generated from the county's beaches and the sounds and backwaters. Access to the water surrounding the county is critical to tourism. An important aspect of the county's park system should be to expand and improve the county's water access.
All right, we have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And I guess we can go get Paul, or I can just go ahead and finish it out. Let's just finish it out. Our third budget amendment. Come on in.
Come on in.
All right, our third budget amendment is for tourism-related. It's the outstanding purchase orders. Can I get a motion to approve?
Move for approval.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And I will close this meeting of the Tourism Development Authority. I guess I have to do a motion. I'll let Mr. O'Neill do that. Chairman O'Neill.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. You adjourned from the regular meeting before that, so we're
Yes.
done.
We're done.
Thanks, staff and everyone, for coming tonight.
Yep.